Alright, this video is going to cover part 1 before the search, getting ready to send out teams from the planning point of view. So step 1 is already done here. We've opened sarsoft, which really just means we open a web browser to the right address. In the trailer it's going to be ncsar:8080 and then slash all the rest. There's an icon on each of the laptops that does that automatically, but you do need to realize it's just opening a web browser, typically Chrome, to the right address. So, next step, add PLS and IC. These are going to be written down on paper, handed to you from someone else, or told to you from someone else, and you need to write them down first. After you've written them down, then you can add them. You can just type in 5x5 coordinates and it will add that for you. However, keep in mind it's going to make some assumptions about the UTM zone and the leftmost two coordinates for both east and north. So to make sure it makes the correct assumption, try and have your map in the general area. So this one we know is going to be in the general area of CCC, north of Scotch Flat Reservoir. So to add a marker, you can just start off and right click anywhere in the map, new marker. I'm going to try that again. New marker, and first we're going to add the PLS marker, type the name there. You can triple click to highlight everything in coordinates just like any other field so that the next thing you type will overwrite it all, and we're just going to enter the 5x5. 5x5 for PLS is 78936, space to separate it by 5. 3325. If you want to change the style, you can by left clicking there. They have some different shapes, but that's not important. Everything else you can leave alone, just label and coordinates. Hit OK. Then we're going to do the same procedure for IC. Right click anywhere on the map, new marker, label IC. You can also just tab into the field and it automatically selects everything for you. The 5x5, 78538, space 53463. Okay. There you go. IC and PLS. Okay, next item in the flowchart, if you want to, you can print this blank map right now with just these two markers for someone else to draw the search segments. Normally, you're going to be drawing the search segments and inventing your search segments yourself right here on the spot, since it's pretty quick to modify them in this program if you need to. So the next step is save and share. Notice as soon as you added any items here, save showed up here. These two do the same thing. Save this map. All you need to do is give it a name. You don't need to worry about file location or any of that. And hit save. When it saves that, it's going to take a minute to reload this web page. There you go. Okay, the next step. Add operational period. In sarsoft, an operational period is an actual data object that you need to add on the map. So for adding, on the left bar, add new object, that menu, if you left click it, that's all identical to if you just hover over the add menu on the top. So add operational period, pretty straightforward. This is the first operational period, so we're going to call it 1. And you can leave everything else as is. Save. So the only place that shows up right now is on the left bar. You have an operational period and it's called 1. Next item, add a locator, also under add new object. The locator, or actually a locator group, is the thing that enables the GPS enabled radio mics to show up as dots each time they call in on here. So only fields you need to change here are type is fleet, as in Kenwood Fleet Sync is the data protocol that we use in IC. Fleet ID, 100. It's always 100 for NCSAR. And you can check this box to, as it says, check for anything that already came in, any team locations that already came into the program prior to right now when you're typing this in here. Hit OK. Nothing is going to show up on the map, but that's okay. You don't need to do that again for each team that calls in. Now it knows that any team that calls in, it's automatically going to make a dot and start keeping dashed lines for those. Okay, next item. Add assignment shapes. So this is the part where you get to start drawing the shapes. There's a lot of science and technique behind that, but that's not what this class is about. For right now, all you need to worry about is two different types of assignments that you might be adding graphically, areas and lines. So let's say we want to start by adding a line assignment. Each time you click either of those, it's going to pop up this form. This is all the different data items that can be attached to an assignment, and we'll worry about most of these later. For right now, when you're actually drawing them and you want to draw them quickly so someone else can print them, only two things you need to worry about here. Assignment number, actually assignment name would be better because this can have letters and numbers, but NC-SAR for right now uses names. Just like the old terminology of the search segment name. So we're going to call this assignment A, and operational period of course is going to be 1 because that's the only one that exists so far. Everything else on here, leave it alone for now. We're going to worry about it later. For now, just assignment number and operational period. Left click OK, and notice this text that pops up where your cursor was, basically telling you, okay, start drawing. So each time you left click, it's going to add a vertex. So you can just add a series of vertices here. And you do have to be pretty careful about not moving the mouse when you left click. It's pretty sensitive to that. If you're moving the mouse when you left click at all, click, click, it's not going to pick it up as a vertex. It's going to try and pan the map. So hold the mouse still and left click to add vertex. And we're just going to be sending this team along the road here. And like it said, double click to end. Here's double click. So when you end it, assignment shows up on the left here. It gets the label in the middle of it. And that's all we need to worry about for drawing it. So now let's add a area assignment. You can choose that from up here as well. Add area assignment. Same type of form. I'm going to call this assignment B. It's also operational period 1. Leave everything else alone for the moment. Hit OK. Same as before. You're ready to start drawing. Stick to not doing the freehand. Stick to doing one left click per vertex. That's important because GPSs cannot always handle all the huge number of points that will be transferred if you do a freehand. So, same thing, left click to add each vertex. Notice that it's okay with the fact that you're drawing these vertices in about the same location as the previous line that you had. That's not a problem. It's okay with that. And notice same thing, double click to close it. So what that does, it's going to take wherever you are right then and close the polygon from there. So if I'm right here, double click, it closed the polygon for me. Finished it up, it called it B, labels it B just like I said, and it shades it. Okay, so those are the basics of adding the actual assignment shapes. At this point, on the flowchart, there's a line over to operations where they can start printing up these maps for the teams. As soon as you've printed up enough assignments, you can say, hey, operations, you can start printing assignment maps right now. You can draw more later, and they can print up more assignment forms in a batch later. The question of figuring out how to multitask this and share the task, you'll want to discuss that with everyone else in IC. If you're the only person there, it's a little less complicated, but you still want to address the question of how many do I want to draw before I start printing so I can get teams out more quickly. Anyway, the task of printing up the maps is pretty straightforward, and we'll be going over that in just a minute. For now, let's stick on the left side of the flowchart. The next thing in order is adding the assignment details and attributes. So in sarsoft, each assignment has all of these different data fields that we already saw when we added it. Wouldn't it be nice if we could quickly change all of those data fields and for affecting a whole bunch of assignments all at the same time? Let's say we've got 15 assignments here in the list, and we don't want to take the time to change them all individually if they're just going to say the same thing. So that's what bulk operations does. Brings up this little mini spreadsheet here, one row per assignment, and tells you some info about each assignment. Basically, you want to use your left click to select rows. They'll turn darker blue when you select them, and then you can, just like anything else in Windows, you can do your shift left click or your control left click to do your multiple selections. So now that you've selected some things to operate on, down below it's asking you what operation do you want to do to those. Right now we want to change attributes, since that's where we are in the flowchart. So change attributes right here gives you the option to change the attributes of everything that you selected all at the same time. So we're going to set if it says double dash, that's saying leave it alone. Leave each assignment at whatever value you already set it at. So we don't need to change the folder. We don't even care about the folder. That's a feature that we don't need. We don't want to change the operational period. We set them both to 1. Resource type, let's leave them both at ground for now, and we'll change one individually later. PODs, yes, we would like these to be the same for all the teams we selected. It's kind of poor form to leave it at its default where it says that they're all low expected PODs. But again, anyone else in IC can help you decide how to set these. Let's set them all to 4 hours. Let's set all the primaries to band 37RT and all the secondaries to CalAw 2. And they were all prepared by your SAR number. Details is basically the narrative description of what the assignment is. Right now, this is going to apply these to all the assignments we selected. So we can just put something nice and generic in here, like search assignment for clues and subject. Previous efforts, transportation, typically left blank, but if you do need to change to multiple assignments at the same time, this is the place to do it. Update, and it will apply those. Now if you click this pencil icon next to each assignment, left click that's to edit it individually. Right now you can basically just see, hey, look, it populated this with all those mediums I put in, with the time and the frequencies and everything else I put in and the details. And just to make sure, you can left click the edit icon on B as well and reality check that yes, sure enough it did put all those same things there in B at the same time. Pretty handy. Now after I did bulk operations, let's say I want to change one of the fields for just an individual assignment. You can always do that from here. So for this one, this had a line assignment. We're going to want to change that to, so let's say, an OHV team. That's a team that's an assignment that's ideal for an OHV team. And let's say you want to also give that assignment a few extra instructions, like searching down the side roads or anything else. Hit OK there, and it applies those edits just to A, because that's the icon we clicked, the edit icon that we had clicked there. Okay, so now all of your assignments are fully populated with all the data they need. Why is that important? Because we can print those out on assignment forms, and that takes care of a lot of the paperwork for us. So the place to do that is also under bulk ops. Notice one of the actions is print SAR 104s. The 104 is the Bay Area Search and Rescue assignment form. So after you've multiple selected things, you can hit print SAR 104s. It's going to generate a PDF. that's how printing works in sarsoft. It generates PDFs. If we had 2 assignments selected, it's going to generate one PDF of 2 pages, 1 page per assignment. And it's going to bring it up in a new browser tab. Notice that's how it came up here. So whatever browser program you're using is going to have a method to print things, print your PDF. In Chrome, the quickest is you hover at the bottom right, and then this rightmost icon is print. And there you can change things like number of copies. So on the team assignment forms, when we're printing those, that's what the yellow paper is for in the IC trailer. That is non-carbon transfer paper, so if you put one of them on top of the other and write on it, it'll just transfer through as if it were carbon paper. So because of that, we need to print 2 copies of each of these, both on yellow paper. So at this point, before you print this, you're going to take the right number of pieces of yellow paper and load them in the IC trailer LaserJet in the fold-out tray. Not one of the pull-out trays, just the fold-out tray, and it'll take those automatically. So 2 pages per assignment. They both need to be yellow. And you're going to tell it how many copies to print, 2. And then you just print it up, and it's easiest if you leave collate off, because that will print it up in the sequence of assignment A, assignment A, assignment B, assignment B. That'll save you a little bit of paperwork shuffling, especially if you're printing up 10 assignments or so at the same time. So that covers printing the assignment forms. At this point, it's really up to operations to worry about the data fields in here, filling out the rest of them that didn't already get populated. But a lot of them did already get filled based on the things you had typed into sarsoft, and that's a big time saver. So we're done with this now, so we're going to close that browser tab. Another thing you can do from bulk operations is print the individual maps, so a separate map per each assignment. Let's go ahead and left click on that, and again it's going to do the same thing, generate a PDF of 1 page per assignment, and each page is that assignment's close-up map. So here's a look at this one. The first page of this PDF is A, and the second page is B. So these are printed with a closer zoom. Notice it says scale 1 to 12,000 here, and that's because that data field back on here, if we look in the other browser tab, that data field says minimum scale, so you can control how close you want those to be zoomed in. So same thing, you're going to go ahead and print here. You do not want or need the yellow paper for this, so you're going to want to control when the yellow paper goes in the tray versus versus when it just takes the white paper. So after you print those up, you can close that browser tab. Now, in addition to sending teams out with a close-up map of just their assignment, it's best to also send out each team with an overview map of all the assignments. So we're going to print up several copies of the overview map. We're done with bulk operations because this is something that you would apply to multiple assignments at once. So you can get done there. The overview map you can do just by hitting print here at the the first browser tab that came up with your main map in it. So I hover over print and print to PDF. What that's going to bring up is a really nice print interface form. This red rectangle is the area that's going to be printed. So notice some things on the left you can change. You can change that from portrait to landscape. One thing it does not default that probably should is grid lines. So you can check for it to show UTM grid lines. On the printable area here, this dot in the center of the printable area, you can just left click and drag that. And you can left click and drag any of these corners. As you do that, notice that the scale number on the left here is going to automatically update. You can still use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out like before. And as long as our scale is less than 1 to 25 or closer than 1 to 25,000, it's going to be really nice and legible If you get much beyond the intended scale of this USGS map, it's not going to be legible anymore. So keep that in mind when you have your scale, when you're looking at your scale. Set your printable area. Say as soon as you say, hey, that looks good, then you just generate the PDF. And this does the same as with the form and with the team maps. It generates a PDF. And then you're going to use this print icon again and tell it however many copies you want. You're probably going to want 1 copy per team, plus a few extra copies for IC. When you're done printing that, you can close that browser tab. You can close the print interface browser tab too. Okay. Exporting to GPS is kind of a separate step here that operations is going to take care of. It'll be good to be familiar with that too, and this program does make it easier than it was in the past, but it is a separate step. So as far as drawing all the assignments, that takes you through to the end of part 1.